Hi, this is Joe Welinske, Program Manager for the ConveyUX conference coming up in Seattle in February for the fourth straight year. And I get the chance to talk with our speakers and preview them for you to check out. And today I am speaking with Jerrod Larson. Hi, Jerrod.
Hi, Joe.
Well, I'm in Seattle. Where are you at today?
Well, I'm stone's throw from you. I'm in Bellevue, which is a suburb of Seattle, probably 10 miles away or thereabouts.
All right, well, and of course we've met before, and I know you're from the area, but for people that may not be familiar with you and your work, why don't you talk a little bit about what you're involved in?
Sure. Right now, I manage a design team at Alaska Airlines, and we manage the website design. So that's a pretty much day in, day out job, providing leadership in terms of what the site should be and kind of working through design problems on a day-to-day basis. And then prior to that, I've been at Amazon in a design role, and then Boeing before that. So I've been in the field for a good chunk of time.
All right, well, are there any new things related to work or for your projects that you're particularly enthused about right now or on the personal side?
Yeah, I mean, there are a number, obviously, there are a million different things going on. Some of the things that are top of mind today would be things like cross-platform user experience. And so what that means to me is designing a website that works well with mobile apps and mobile websites and beyond that. So airport kiosks, for example, or airport built environments. So I'm trying to sort of get my handle on what that experience could be and how I can add value in that kind of multi-platform connected experience.
Well, I mean, I have to imagine that being involved with a major airline like you are, that would seem like it puts a lot of pressure on considering, the amount of customers, the logistics involved in the back end of something like that,
You bet.
the mission critical and safety issues that come in with that. I mean, I'm sure you have to just work on, one piece at a time, but I mean, how do you guys deal with the big picture?
Well, certainly it's not just me working on these sorts of issues. So there's obviously a pretty big team. But my focus is really on the customer experience. And so as far as operations of the airline, that's certainly not my bailiwick. But when it comes to customer experience, it's funny because in our field we talk about customer journey pretty often. It's kind of one of our standard phrases in user experience. But in my case, I'm actually literally facilitating the customer journey. So how customers shop for tickets, how they purchase tickets, what happens when they are ready to check into a flight, so on and so forth. What happens after the flight. Um, and so I look at that as a really huge opportunity and really exciting, just to make sure that experience is orchestrated to a great extent, to make sure customers notice what they need to notice, and things that they shouldn't care about or need to care about don't show up. So yeah, it's an amazing opportunity and really good experience.
What are some of the ways that you kind of bring in the physical world elements of airline travel to the software side of the experience that you're involved in?
Yeah, well, we have multiple methods for doing so. So we obviously simulate customer journeys. So we bring people into our labs. We have sort of mock-ups of check-ins, so we can simulate how people might check into a kiosk, that sort of thing. But I also take the designers out to the airports. We get a chance to watch people and observe them, interact with them. We've done right usability studies where we take design work to the airport, get feedback from customers, maybe on a mobile device, maybe on a laptop, iterate that design later that night, and then go to the airport the next day. So I mean, any method that you can imagine, we've attempted those methods, and all of them are fruitful at some level. So it's pretty fascinating, and given just how many touch points customers have with an airline, it's remarkable, and there's so much opportunity to affect those things as a design lead.
Well, personally, I use a lot of the airline apps from the various companies, and I don't know. I feel like overall they've all evolved quite a bit just in the last couple of years. I mean, do you feel like you're kind of winning the battle, or do you still see a lot of challenges
Sure.
ahead?
Yeah, really good question. I don't know anybody in design who feels like the battle's won. I think all of us look at this as a relatively early state of customer experience, and we're all inventing the future, so on and so forth. So I think we're doing a really good job, especially, I mean, my airline in particular, we're doing a really good job. But this is the early days of user experience in some ways, and so we've got really exciting things in the future, and we're working on those things today. I can't talk about them very much, as you might imagine, but yeah, we look at this as just the starting point of a pretty good experience overall.
Well, there are a few things that you're going to be talking to people about at the conference. Your topic is managing the Big Bang lessons learned from a site redesign.
Hmm.
So, and what's the thumbnail of that? Where did that topic come from?
Sure. Well, it's interesting because when I reflect on some of the speakers that are coming to convey UX, and I just think about the literature on design work and the contemporary thinking on how you do design work, a lot of thought leaders talk about avoiding, to a great extent, these gigantic redesigns and releasing something at one fell swoop, so to speak. But it turns out that my particular journey was I started a job where I had to execute a relatively large scale redesign. And there was no chance to kind of push back or massage the way we might do that. I had to figure out how to launch a big redesign project with a lot of success. And so when I looked at what the UX community was saying, they would say, avoid doing big bang designs, do small iterative releases, so on and so forth. So I had to figure out a way to execute a big bang, a really big design, with very little information about lessons learned from other practitioners in the field. So I went through the project, and we were very successful in the project. But I did learn quite a lot in that exercise. And so what I thought I would do is assemble the lessons learned that I didn't have as a design leader. And I'm sort of crafting the presentation for people who are maybe design leaders, so they could be managers or directors and up the chain, or they could be senior designers who are taking either a whole redesign or a feature that they're redesigning in their particular product, be it a physical product or a digital product. In my case, it was a website, but it doesn't necessarily need to be that way. So I will touch in my talk about design culture, working with stakeholders, managing risk, how to convey a vision, but also kind of convey risk. So it'll be a pretty wide-reaching talk, but it's really geared toward helping somebody learn the things that I learned as I went through the painful process of running through a big enterprise redesign.
All right, great. Well, yeah, thanks for taking a few minutes to chat with me
Sure.
about this, and being a local, you'll be able to help me welcome all the people that are coming from outside the area, all of our UX peers, and
Oh, they're going to
looking
love it.
forward to it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you.